welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new here, my name's Shelly. I am a second grade teacher in Northern California. And as you can tell by the title of this video, my classroom has definitely taken some turns. And I thought it would be fun today to pick up the camera because I have a lot of work to get done. It is officially May. The school year is coming to an end. I am in purge, organize, clean mode, especially for next year because I will be gone the entire first half of the next year on maternity leave, so I want to be as ready, organized, prepped as possible moving into the next year. So that being said, I wanted to pick you guys up as I worked today. So as you can see, I have my little workstation set up. I have all of these bins, which we will use to organize. I have my Cricut station set up. I want to create a couple of things. And I want to show you how I have thus far transformed my room if you have been here. So if you have been here for this year, you know that we are back. I have all of my kids in the classroom 4 days a week, only half of the day. And with that posed the problem of fitting 22 desks in here. And so what I had to do was completely shift my classroom. Originally, when we came back in separate cohorts, everyone was facing this wall and that didn't work. So what I had to do was basically transform my whole classroom. I had to flip everything that was over here and move it to this wall, which I mostly did. I want to wrap that up today. And then I set up my desks. Let me do a quick pan around to show you exactly what I did. Alrighty, so as you can see, all of my desks are now facing this way. So all of the kids can see the TV. I moved all of my IKEA bins up front here. And now I have this little space to use for like a direct teaching area. I did keep a couple of IKEA bins over here. And then I moved my small group table, even though we can't do small group, back here. So this is my kind of workstation. With that transformation came these walls. Everything that was over here is now over here. So I've moved my calendar, my voice levels, all of this fun stuff up front. The last thing I have to move are all of my voice levels. But as you can see, these are not the easiest thing to move because these are made out of vinyl. So I'm actually gonna recut these with my Cricut, which I will show you a little bit later. So then all of that will be moved to the front, and then I moved all of my anchor charts over here, as well as our writing process and spelling words, which is blank. So the first thing I wanna do are recreate my voice level stickers with my Cricut, show you guys that whole process, and then I really wanna start organizing and filing just so I can feel a little bit better going into next year for my long-term sub. But hopefully you guys will enjoy that process as well. You can see how I'm going to organize for next year. If you're needing any organization help, maybe what I'm gonna be doing is something that you might wanna try. So if any of that sounds exciting to you, go ahead and keep on watching. All right, first thing I need to do is remove these old voice levels. I have had a zillion of you ask me how I made these and where they came from. So this template is actually from Miss Fifth. They're supposed to be posters and I used them as a template to cut them out on my Cricut, which I will show you in just a little bit. So these are made out of vinyl, and then these are just magnetic lights that I can easily move. So what I'm gonna have to do first is take all this vinyl off and then recreate these. All right, so all of the vinyl is removed here, and then I moved my lights over here. So now I just need to create and cut the new stickers to place up here. All right, so before I show you exactly how I use my Cricut to cut, you guys know if you've been here for a long time, I have been a huge advocate for Cricut since day one. My machine was like the first thing I purchased for myself. My first year teaching, I think. It was like my gift to myself. So many of you always DM me and you're like, is it worth it? Is the Cricut worth it? And my answer to you is yes. I have used my Cricut all year, every year that I've taught. It is 100% worth the investment because it is the biggest time saver you will ever use in the classroom. As you know, as teachers, we do a lot of cutting, we do a lot of laminating, and the Cricut does all the cutting for you. Let me just show you some things in my classroom that I have used my Cricut for and has literally saved me hours worth of work. All right, let's head over here. All of my big letters for any signs that I create, I use my Cricut to cut out. I no longer have to print, laminate, and then cut them. I literally just put the paper in and it cuts those letters. All of my bulletin board headings, I cut out with my Cricut, which is nice because if you use intricate fonts like this, like you don't have to try and get in all the spaces. It's amazing. So I use it for these. I used it to make all of my really big letters for my bulletin boards. So writing, I used it to cut out in math. I use it for my reading one. I also used it for my wow work up here. Any intricate cutting, I use my Cricut for. So you can imagine that I was really excited when they reached out to work with me because, as you know, I only talk about brands that I actually can get behind, and I have been a supporter of Cricut since day one. So I was very excited when they offered to sponsor this video, and now I get to show you exactly how I use my Cricut to make things like these vinyl letters. I also use my Cricut for other vinyl things that I've actually taken down because I didn't end up needing this year. But if you go back to any of my older classroom setup vlogs, you will see the Cricut make several appearances. All right, enough blabbing. This is my workspace for today. This is where I house all of my Cricut stuff. As you can see, I'm a hoarder. So today I'm using the Cricut Maker to make my new vinyl letters. Ah, it's beautiful. The first thing I need to do is choose a color vinyl. I had my old ones in black. I talked about potentially like redesigning my classroom next year, but my school is going through a full modernization in the next 3 years. So I'm like, I don't want to do a whole new theme. So I think I'm going to stick to the blue and green theme. Maybe I kind of want to add some extra bright colors. Hold on, let me choose my colors and I'll be back. All right, I think this is what I'm going to go with. These are all vinyls that I just have, obviously because my colors are blue and green. So I'm going to do my 0, 1, 2, 3 all in a different color. I personally love working with vinyl because, as you saw, it's super easy to just pull off surfaces, but the Cricut Maker can literally cut over 300 different fabrics. I personally, the most often use vinyl and cardstock because cardstock is what I make all of my signs out of, but it can literally cut the thinnest things like crepe paper or like chantilly lace to like super, super, super dense fabrics, flannels, leather, all kinds of different materials, which is insane. So even if you're not a teacher and you're just like super crafty, definitely worth it. Such a time saver. All right, now that I've picked out my vinyl, the second step is to go to the Cricut Design Space, which is the software that we use to create the actual cuts. And then we plug it in and we watch her work. So the first thing I need to do is pull up these PDFs. So these voice levels I downloaded from Teachers Pay Teachers. I will link them down below. I already have them in my uploads. So again, these are just PDFs and you upload them straight to the Design Space and then you can just click on it and it will insert right into the workspace, which is what I'm going to do right now. And it's so easy once you get in here. This software is super user-friendly. You're just going to resize it to whatever you want. Up in the top right corner, you're going to click Make It. And then once you have it placed wherever you feel the best, you're going to click through, and then this is where you're going to select the material. It only shows a few, but when you click Browse on all materials, it shows all 300. It's insane. So I'm using vinyl. I'm going to click on vinyl. After that, all I need to do is load everything into my Cricut and click Cut. Okay, I moved over to the floor. I'm totally a floor worker. Okay, so now that they're cut, you can't really see, but with the vinyl, it obviously doesn't cut all the way through because watch what happens when I peel. And there you go. So I'm just gonna turn you around and stick this up on the board. right, my friends, so there you go. A project that probably would have taken me 2 hours without my Cricut is done in about 15 minutes, and I'm obsessed. So if you guys have ever been on the fence about whether or not you should get a Cricut, let this be your sign, because this machine has literally saved my life in the classroom. Not only can it cut, but it can draw, it can engrave, and it can do a ton of really helpful things. It is super easy to set up, extremely user-friendly, and it saves you so much time. I can't rave about them enough. Like I said, you know that I've loved them for years. So I will have all of the Cricut information listed for you down below. If you are interested, go check it out. But for now, I'm going to pack her up because I have some other things that I want to get done to get this classroom organized and ready to go for the end of this year and next year. Ooh. Okay, so the next big thing on my to-do list is to get organized and file. Now, if you've been here for a while, I feel like I'm a broken record. But this year I recently got rid of my filing cabinet and I got, where is it? That little scanner over there so I can digitally file everything on my computer. I'll link that video down below if you're interested. But I have found that there are still some paper copies of things that I just want to have just for like a quick grab, easy access. So I have about 12 bins over here, and this is where I'm going to store some of those things. So I spent some time kind of choosing categories. A lot of them are gonna be like samples of art projects that I've done or samples of writing that I've done, other projects, assessments, centers, things like that, where I don't have to like cut and prep it every single time. So I have a basket over here of things that I need to be filed. So I am going to put them in their bins, and then I'm going to create labels. I don't really wanna show you how I make the labels because I've made several videos about that. I will link those down below. But then I will laminate, cut those out, but then I will stick those labels in, and then I'll call it quits for the day. I have an IEP in like an hour and a half, and I'm starving. And the baby is like kicking my ribs, like, feed me, mom. So I am going to put you guys down, and I'm going to get to work. All right, so these are the labels I created. I make everything on PowerPoint. Because I know you're gonna ask, the font, the capital font is KG blank space solid in all caps. And then the more script font is from Miss Fifth, and this one is BB Choose Kindness. So I am going to print these out, cut them, stick them on these bins, and start filing. So it's the next day. Turns out my IEP was earlier than I thought, so I had to run, but I am back in the classroom. It's the next day. I was able to print out, I don't know what I just did with them. There we are. I was able to print out all of my labels. So this morning before the kids show up, I'm just going to get those cut, taped, and filed, so enjoy the show. Alrighty, these are done. I love the way that they look. This is all stuff from 6th grade that I just never went through. So I will do that another time. But this is perfect for me and my brain. Again, I have digitized most things, but there are some things that I'm just gonna need to grab or that I won't wanna prep 100 times over. So this system I think is gonna work out really well for me. There are definitely some of these bins that are actually completely empty because given that this year was 90% online, I didn't actually get to prep or like do a lot of these things, centers, games, things like that, but I know that I will in the future. So I'm hoping my future self will be happy that I did this. All right, friends, that's all I really have for you for this vlog. I think as I kind of wrap up the year and start organizing my room, I will definitely take you along for the ride. It is going to be a process. I did get word that I am teaching 2nd grade and I don't have to change classrooms. That being said, there's still things that I want to change and get ready for my sub. Also, I'm thinking about doing an entire prepping for maternity leave series. So give me a thumbs up. Let me know down below if that's something that you're interested in. It's much different than my last experience because 6th grade was departmentalized, where 2nd grade I'm teaching literally everything. So definitely a different experience, and I'm not starting the year with them. So let me know if you want to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog here. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.